He thought he was going to surprise his CEO wife with flowers and her favorite coffee. But what he discovered at her office left him completely shocked. When Ethan walked into Sophia's company, the security guard pointed at another man and said he was the one everyone knew as her husband. Confused and heartbroken, Ethan started searching for the truth behind the mysterious man and the secrets his wife had been hiding. But the reality was far different from what he imagined. A hidden plan, a forgotten dream, and a surprise waiting for him would change his life forever. Before we start this emotional story, make sure to like, share, and subscribe to the channel for more amazing stories. And now, let's get started. Ethan Carter had been married to Sophia Carter for 6 years. Their love story was the kind people admired. They had met in college, supported each other through difficult years, and eventually built a successful life together in New York City. Sophia had become the CEO of one of America's fastest-growing technology companies, while Ethan worked as an architect who preferred a quieter life away from the spotlight. Over the past year, however, things had changed. Sophia's company was expanding rapidly and her schedule became overwhelming. She often left home before sunrise and returned long after sunset. Important meetings, business trips, and endless phone calls seemed to consume every moment of her day. Ethan understood her responsibilities, but he couldn't ignore the growing distance between them. Some nights they barely exchanged more than a few words before falling asleep. Wanting to reconnect, Ethan planned a surprise visit to her office on a Friday afternoon. He stopped at her favorite cafe, ordered her usual caramel latte, and bought a bouquet of white roses, the same flowers he had given her on their wedding day. As he drove toward Manhattan's financial district, he imagined her smile when she saw him unexpectedly standing in her office lobby. The headquarters occupied an impressive glass skyscraper overlooking the city skyline. Employees in expensive suits hurried through the entrance while security personnel monitored every visitor. Ethan adjusted his jacket, picked up the flowers and coffee, and walked confidently toward the reception desk. Before he could enter the executive elevators, a security guard stepped in front of him. "Sorry, sir," the guard said politely. "Employees only beyond this point," Ethan smiled. "It's okay. I'm here to see Sophia Carter." The guard nodded. "Do you have an appointment?" Ethan chuckled. "No appointment needed. I'm her husband." Instead of stepping aside, the guard looked genuinely confused. After a moment, he pointed toward the elevators. "You mean Mr. Carter?" he asked. "He's right over there." Ethan turned and followed the direction of the guard's finger. A tall, sharply dressed businessman had just stepped out of a private elevator. The man was carrying a briefcase and walking beside Sophia. They appeared comfortable together, laughing as they crossed the lobby. Several employees greeted them warmly. "Good afternoon." "Mr. and Mrs. Carter," one employee called. "Have a great meeting," another added. Ethan's smile disappeared instantly. His fingers tightened. Around the bouquet, the man placed a hand lightly on Sophia's shoulder as they continued talking. Neither of them noticed Ethan standing across the lobby. To everyone around them, they looked exactly like a married couple. 1,000 thoughts raced through Ethan's mind. Who was this man? Why did the employees believe he was Sophia's husband? And most importantly, why had Sophia never mentioned him? The flowers suddenly felt heavier than ever. Without saying a word, Ethan turned around and walked out of the building. The surprise he had planned for his wife was forgotten. As he sat alone in his car, staring at the city streets, one painful question echoed in his mind. Was the woman he trusted hiding a secret that could destroy their marriage? Could learn art, music, and design for free. You wanted to give them opportunities they couldn't afford on their own. Ethan's eyes widened. He remembered that conversation. It had happened years ago during their college days. Back then, he had spoken passionately about helping young people discover their talents, but life had gotten in the way. Bills, responsibilities, careers, dreams had been postponed. "I never forgot," Sophia continued. "Even when you stopped talking about it." Tears began forming in Ethan's eyes. Sophia explained that over the past year she had secretly worked with Daniel to purchase and renovate the historic building. Every meeting, every business trip, and every late-night phone call had been connected to the project. Daniel's international contacts had helped secure funding and sponsorships. Architects had transformed the building into a state-of-the-art community arts center. Classrooms, music studios, painting workshops, computer labs, and performance spaces had already been completed. Everything was ready, and it all belonged to Ethan. "You sacrificed so much for my success," Sophia said. "While I was building my company, you supported me every step of the way." "This is my way of supporting your dream." Unable to speak, Ethan wiped away tears. For weeks, he had feared losing the woman he loved. Instead, he discovered how deeply she loved him. The following Saturday, Sophia drove him to the building. As they turned the corner, Ethan froze. A large banner stretched across the entrance. "Welcome to the Carter Community Arts Center." More than 200 children and their families had gathered outside. Local reporters, teachers, artists, and community leaders filled the street. When Ethan stepped out of the car, applause erupted. He looked at Sophia in complete disbelief. "This is real?" She laughed. "Every bit of it." During the opening ceremony, Daniel shared the story of how the project had come together. Volunteers had donated thousands of hours. Businesses had contributed equipment and supplies. Artists from across the country had agreed to mentor students free of charge. What began as a forgotten dream had become a reality larger than Ethan ever imagined. Months later, the center was thriving. Children learned painting, photography, graphic design, music, and filmmaking. Some students even earned scholarships through programs hosted at the center. One evening, Ethan stood in the lobby watching dozens of young artists display their work. Sophia joined him. "Worth the secret?" she asked with a grin. Ethan laughed. "Next time, maybe give me a little warning before your security guard introduces another man as your husband." Sophia burst out laughing. They stood together watching the children celebrate their achievements. The surprise visit Ethan had planned for his wife had uncovered a misunderstanding, a hidden project, and a life-changing gift, and in the end, he learned something far more valuable than the truth about the mysterious man. The strongest relationships are built not only on love and trust, but also on believing in each other's dreams, even when those dreams seem impossible. As the lights of the Arts Center glowed against the New York skyline, Ethan realized that sometimes the greatest surprises arrive when you least expect them.